Yeah.
And suddenly, out of nowhere, this game pops up, and just before The Apprentice shows up in Soul Calibur 5... or no, Soul Calibur... Was it Soul Calibur 4 he showed up?
Yeah.
With Darth Vader and Yoda, because they were gearing up for this game, because there had been nothing for Star Wars for a bit.
Yeah.
And it was really odd. And this game literally popped up out of the ground, almost out of nowhere, and it had this very... Because, like, God of War was the game of that era.
Yeah.
God of War was basically the game of last gen. And it's because, like, the PlayStation 3 wasn't really there yet when this game came out. So, like, it dominated the Xbox original, since Halo 2 had already come out. Nothing was really happening for Xbox for a while.
Yeah.
And then 360 comes out. There's not a lot on there yet. And then this game shows up. PlayStation 3 was basically still in development, because Soul Calibur was one of their launch titles.
Yeah.
So was this. And so God of War was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of took that model, but changed it so much that it didn't feel like it was a God of War game until I played a God of War game.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my god, where did this come from? Because the lightsaber combat was not as big of a precedent in this game, as it was for Outcast. Because Outcast was all about the lightsaber combat, because we wanted to see that, and we got that, and by God did we love it.
Yeah.
This game, but the force powers in there were very standard and basic.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Revenge of the Sith, they were hidden in controls, sort of.
Yeah.
You had grip, but if you wanted to force push, you had to double tap the grip button. It was weird.
Yeah.
So this game comes out, and it's the demo is the first level, and in the first level, you feel powerful.
Yeah.
And you only have force push
Yeah.
and grip. And, looking at the other games, they're well, that's what everybody else has. And you're like, oh boy, this is level 1. And you don't have, any other combos yet.
Yeah.
For using your lightsaber to slaughter everything.
Yeah.
Because you play as Darth Vader's apprentice, and you get to eviscerate everything, basically how if Anakin didn't get mutilated by Obi-Wan, and have all the power of the Force in his hand.
Yeah.
The
main thing that I thought was really impressive about that demo was it demonstrated the power in a really, really cool way, because you used that big charged force push thing and used it to open a door, and you saw the door bend.
Yeah.
And
which we didn't see in the movies at all.
No.
Because all of them had happened. Just no, it was the Force Unleashed 2 trailer that showed him bending up the whole hallway as he's going down.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the trailer was for this game at all.
I honestly saw the demo come out, and then I saw a dev diary, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
this game sold well on the name of Star Wars alone.
Yeah.
And then they showed that stuff, and they're shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
I have no money.
They were talking about what they were making, and originally they were gonna make a game based on a Wookiee warrior.
That would have been cool, actually.
Would have been cool, but here's the thing. George Lucas was saying I want you to bring me something story heavy. I want you to bring me something with an interesting character. And they came in with the Wookiee warrior idea, and George Lucas threw them out with that, because he's just I asked you to bring me an interesting character, and you bring me a character that can't talk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So they kind of had this guy in their back pocket. They had Starkiller kind of in their back pocket.
Oh, George, you don't like that? We'll stuff this in you, turkey neck.
And it's It's like here's this guy. He's like, they're like, well, what's this guy? He's Darth Vader's apprentice. He's like,
Secret apprentice who's Vader is training to overthrow the Emperor.
and I can just imagine George Lucas being like,
I honestly imagine him like his eyes grow big and he just like,
tell me more. But like,
oh really? So he hides in like my neck. I don't have quite a George Lucas neck. Like, it would need, my neck would have to be like here, like a poison sack.
Yeah. But it's crazy because
I've got a treble chin.
They were talking about like how powerful they wanted him to be. Like they were like somebody in the dev team asked the director like, how powerful do you want this guy to be? And like the director says to him like, I want this guy to be so powerful he can pull a fucking Star Destroyer out of the sky. And that's what the poster was.
Yeah.
The poster was Star Killer pulling a Star Destroyer out of the sky.
That was an awesome and immensely difficult part because there were these TIE fighters that would keep coming down from the ship to shoot you.
Okay.
So you'd have to dispatch of them. And then you'd grab the Star Destroyer again, pull it into where you can start pulling it down again because it would like keep moving on you.
Yeah.
Then you get it and you'd start pulling it and be really, really slow.
Was it like tapping O repeatedly or
No,
something?
you use the sticks.
Ooh.
Like you'd grab it and then you use the sticks to line it up just right. And then it would get that and you just pull down on them. And you're like, come on, come on! And then TIE fighters would come back down and start shooting at you. Screw you! Just shock them, pull them out of the ground, and throw them.
I guess I just didn't prepare enough.
Yeah, you need to play that game more,
I
man.
know I need to play that game more.
You want to borrow my copy of the Wii version so you can continue playing?
Nah, I have the Wii version. I don't want to play the Wii version. Wii version's...
and like the Wii version, they had more force powers for the Wii version, which like angered me.
Yeah.
Because
that game's a mess.
well, yes, but like in the console version, you didn't have force choke.
Yeah.
And you're Darth Vader's apprentice.
If you...
Like, you had lightning and everything.
If you held them up in the air, like, it kind of acted like you were choking them. You just couldn't kill them.
No. If with the Wii, you'd lift up with that, and then you'd flip it over, and that's how you choke them.
Yeah, in that game, yeah, but on the Xbox. I remember, like, in the demo... Like, you would hold them up in the air, and you could, like...
that would just be, like, holding them, and then you could throw your lightsaber at them and impale them.
I feel like if you waited long enough, they would die.
Nope.
Okay.
And he'd sit there, holding one, he'd shoot his gun, and he'd ragdoll around up in the middle of the air.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Like, the physics in that game were amazing.
Yeah.
They were silly at times,
physics.
but... like, they worked pretty damn well, for the most part. Mm-hmm. Because, like, the Force is a little bit flimsy with physics at times.
Yeah, well, that'll be the Force.
Yeah. So...
What I think was really fun was, in those parts with the bendy doors, you could, like, throw dudes at them, and they would hit the door so hard, the door would bend.
It would bend them more than if you, like, sat there and force pushing it. Like, the dude would just go through the door, like...
Just like, and you're just like, Jesus!
He's not dead? How is he not dead?
Because that's not what the game wants to do.
So, like, it created a very different, like, feeling than, like, Outcast did, because you were sort of like this all-powerful, like, Sith sorcerer, sort of.
Sith sorcerer.
Yeah. Like, instead of being, like, the ultimate badass Jedi Knight, you were, like, this force of nature.
Yeah.
Because you had force lightning, force push, the force repulse, to where you basically gathered energy and then exploded in force power. And that was, like, the most epic feeling thing ever in that game.
Yeah.
Because, like, there were a lot of destructible parts in, like, the set pieces, So like windows would go flying out, cables would break and start hanging out everywhere, and it felt really really cool. And then you also had the lightsaber, which felt very like, honestly, this game feels a lot like Brutal Legend, actually.
If Brutal Legend was an action game all the way through.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the ground, like,
Yeah.
whenever you're just Jack Black.
Yeah.
Like, because you have, like, the powers, but then you have the lightsaber, but then you can mix in the Force powers with the lightsaber for, like, ridiculous combos and different attacks that made it feel like this isn't just a lightsaber fighting game. This is also a very, very cool...
like, it's an action game.
Yeah, it's an action game, but it also felt very thematic.
Yeah.
Because you get to, like, the boss fights, and there were quick time events, yes, but they looked really cool.
Yeah.
And made it feel like it was an epic finish to a fight, because some of those bosses were difficult. It was like the first one you fight, he's not that hard, but he'll like occasionally turn invulnerable and throw shit at you.
Yeah.
Which is annoying, but he's like the least of your problems. Because later on, people get ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
Like you have to fight Shak Ti and a Sarlacc pit. Like Mammoth Sarlacc. Like that one in the sand dune's just a baby. Yeah. That's why those tentacles are that big. Well, that's also Felucia. Everything's like supersized me. Supersized. But like on as well, like you go to all these really different planets as well. It was like first off, they went kind of God of War 2 style on you. To where they started off to where the first level you play as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
To give you a taste of, like, this is what true power feels like.
Yeah.
And you go and slaughter all the goddamn Wookiees.
Oh.
Sort of like how the beginning of God of War 2 happens to where you're, like, all-powerful Kratos.
You are the god of war.
And then, like, they strip that from you at the end of the level.
They strip everything from you.
That's sort of how it happens with this, because where like, you play Darth Vader, then you play his apprentice who hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah. But you can bend doors.
Yeah, you can bend doors.
That's pretty cool.
Vader couldn't break those bridges. As much times as I tried to force push that bridge away, it would not go away. And so like that's how it started off, and then you would like go to a like space station. It's Star Warsy. Then you go to like a junk planet. And it's very, very orange and like grimy, but there's all these like Rhodian scavengers, like these scrap robots that are made with the Force that are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then you go to Felucia, where it's like basically a big plant place, but you fight Rancors.
Yeah.
You fight multiple Rancors. Like,
Why
they're
not?
nothing.
Why not?
Because they're, like, amazing.
Yeah.
Like, they're really tough things, but
That's a reason why, too.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah. Like, there's no reason why not. Like, besides hardcore fanboys are like, no one can do that. No one can fight 3 Rancors at a time. But this guy can. Fuck you.
Why not? I don't care. I ain't even mad.
Like, I mean, the only bad thing that I didn't like about the game was like you would return to those planets.
Yeah.
And it would be like the same sort of the same setting.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of annoying. Like we could have gone to these other places, but the places that you go to are just really cool and varied.
Yeah.
Then you go to the Death Star for the last level, and like you fight Vader and the Emperor. Like, and I don't honestly know if there was any other game to where we fight Darth Vader.